Prepare to learn. Hi, everyone. I'm Britton Picciolini, and welcome to the Prepare to Learn virtual professional development series presented by Pear, Screencastify, Book Creator, and Google for Education. I'm Britton Picciolini with Google, and I'm so excited to be with you from sunny Chicago, Illinois, in the United States. We have lots of folks from all over the world here today. So I'm thrilled to be with you to kick off this two-day event. You're going to be hearing from some of our fantastic Google for Education partners and trainers, and I really hope that you find that you learn some great ways to engage students and learn tips and tricks and best practices from educators from all over. So enjoy the couple days. So along those lines of best practices, I thought that I would share with you a few of my best practices for virtual presenting generally. So fun fact, I actually have a degree in photojournalism. So a lot of the things that we think about when we talk about really great virtual presenting are the same concepts that we use in photography and videography. So let's get started. So first, lighting. Lighting is so key because really without lighting, what is it? It's just dark, right? So what do we think about lighting? Where is your light? Key is to find your light. Is it a window? Is it a lamp? Whatever that is, make sure that you're facing it. So if it's a window, face the window. If you need to move a lamp to get your light better, move that lamp or that light behind your webcam, behind your device so that it is facing you. So that will give you the most optimal light for everyone to be able to see you and your facial expressions. So believe it or not, there is something as too much light, however. So bear with me and we're going to do a quick demo. One sec. Okay, so as I said, I'm in sunny Chicago, and this is what it looks like when I'm full on in the light. You can see that I've got lots of really white spots that are really what we call blown out in the business. So it means you can't see any detail. Now, the upside of that is you can't see any wrinkles. So if that's your game, like go to town. But for me, I prefer to have my skin tone maybe a little bit better and not be so hot. That's what we call this, is really hot light. So I'm gonna bring those shades down and soften that light. Be right back. Okay, see, you can actually see my skin tone. You can see how the light works for me. It is a lot softer. This is just much better. So I encourage all of you to just play with the light that you have. Make sure that the light is optimal for you. Next part. When's the last time you cleaned your webcam? Think about that for a second. Okay, so we're going to do just a little demo here. Bear with me. Okay, yeah, so this is not a clean webcam. Now, you might say, this looks really soft and lovely and feathery. Actually, way back in the day, in the 20s, before technology, they used to take movie cameras and put a really thin layer of Vaseline on the lens to give that kind of soft, halo-y look to the starlets, and it was really like lovely and ethereal. That is not what we're going for in virtual presentations here. So all you need to do is take a soft cloth or a t-shirt or something and just wipe your webcam down. There, so much better, right? So make sure that you have clean equipment, really easy. Next, let's talk about the lighting in the space. So we've already talked, I have a window in front of me. That's a really good lighting feature. But what are my options in this space? What other lighting options do I have that maybe could help out the space a little bit? So I'm going to play with some lighting in the back. Be right back. Okay, so that gives it maybe a little warmer feel. There's some architectural elements back there that are interesting but not too distracting. So that might be interesting to keep on. Now I've got this light that's over here, so maybe I'll turn that on and see what that looks like. That's not too bad. It feels a little hot to me, so maybe I'll turn that one off. Okay, I feel good about this lighting, so I think we'll keep it with this. So just play around with the lighting elements that you have. It's going to be different for everyone, but just the key is to make it as inviting and comfortable as possible for you and for your viewers. Next, let's talk about angles. Okay, so angles are so important. Anybody that's taken a selfie knows that angles are important. There's lots of different things that we want to make sure that we don't do. Okay, let's not do this. Hi, can everybody hear me? Yeah, I think that sounds good. Let's go for that. That sounds like a great idea. Yep. Okay, perfect. Yeah, no. This is another one I hate. Yeah, ceiling fans. How are we doing? Yep, that's a distracting ceiling fan. How's my forehead? Good? Yeah. No. These angles are not great. So we want to make sure that we have an angle that's great for you and for presenting. And ideally, that is at eye level. So I have my device currently elevated right now. It's on a stand. You can put it on a stack of books. You can put it on a planter. You can put it on a box. But whatever that is, that angle really helps. So being at eye level, not being too close, not being too far, right at eye level is really optimal. So try and have that set for yourself. Okay, next, let's talk about audio. Okay, audio is so key because without audio, it's just a pretty picture, right? We actually need to get a message across. So lots of different things that you can work with for audio. Think about getting a headset that has a microphone or earbuds or wired device, just something that might help with the echo. Sometimes our devices pick up on other sounds, so having a separate headset and a separate microphone can help. I actually have a separate microphone here today. I'm wearing earbuds, but just play around with some different things that might help you. It also helps to distill some of the outside noise if you're working in a busy environment, which a lot of us are right now. You also want to be careful that if you are using a headset with a mic, that you're not talking like Darth Vader, that you're breathing into the mic. So just make sure that you're not the one that's like heavy breathing into the mic. Just test out your audio and make sure you're all set. You also want to make sure that you can tell people that you're working. A great way to do that is just visual signals. So if you've got headsets like this is a great way to show other people in your house that you're working. I'm working. Don't talk to me. I'm available. You can talk to me. No talkie. Right? So that's just an awesome visual cue for everybody else to know that when you have your headphones on, you are working and you are not to be disturbed, right? Another thing is that fabrics help with echo. So if you're in a room that's hardwood floors and doesn't have really anything on the walls and it's kind of empty and it feels echoey, a great way to take advantage of some of the things you have in your house to help out with that are just blankets and pillows or fabrics and something around, because fabric helps absorb sound. So if you can, lay things around that have some fabric to them, that'll absorb the sound and help out with that echo. Another thing, we all know that mute is really important. For all of you that are using Google Meet, here's the tip. Control or Command plus D. That toggles mute on and off. So you're not there with your mouse trying to find the mute button. Just Control or Command plus D, back and forth, toggles mute for Google Meet. Teach your kids, teach your students, teach your family, teach your friends. It's so key. Just know that. Okay, now let's talk a little bit about connection. And I'm not talking about people connection. I'm talking about tech connection. Now, no matter where you're at, you're likely having connection issues, either yourself or your students. There's just general connection challenges that we're all facing with these days. There's a few things that you can do that can help out with that. First, close all the tabs you're not using. I fully have tab disease. I have multiple tabs open. I have multiple windows with multiple tabs open. This is not a best practice. So just when you are doing virtual presenting or you are in a meeting with video conferencing, close down anything you don't need, things that you're not using. It can really help with the bandwidth for your devices. Also, you can take the resolution down on your camera. So that's actually pretty simple. You can find it in your settings for your device, but we're not shooting Jurassic Park here. We can do low resolution just fine. So take that resolution down and you'll find that it might help you with your connection issues. Okay, next. framing. All right, what do I mean when I say framing? That's literally the cropping of things in or out of what you're showing everyone else. So right now you can, obviously I'm in my house. We're all in our house right now. So we know that we're in our homes, but you're not quite sure maybe where I'm at based on the framing that I've showed you here, right? So all I have to do is swivel around and show you I'm actually in my bedroom. And we decided not to make the bed today because you're just gonna get back in it, right? So I choose not to show you this because you don't need to see all this and all the laundry and all the crap that's around here. I choose to show you this, right? This makes it look like the house is perfectly fine. All you need to worry about is what's in your frame, right? So I have my device, as I said, at eye level. You definitely want to make sure that you have it set to where it feels good and sturdy. Nothing like having somebody have their device on their lap or on a pillow and it's not stable and you feel like there's an earthquake. No, just make sure it's stable, whatever you have it on, okay? Another thing that I have is I'm actually using a Bluetooth keyboard with a trackpad. So I'm standing, and for those of you that like to stand up and move around when you're doing your presentations, a Bluetooth keyboard is a really great way to continually interact with your device if you want to, but from a little bit of a distance. You can find Bluetooth keyboards with trackpads as cheap as $25 on Best Buy. They're not really expensive, but if you're somebody that likes to stand, move around, be a little bit more active and not feel like you're sitting all day, I encourage you to check out a Bluetooth keyboard. It's just a really great way to interact with your device, but still be removed from it, okay? Okay, next, let's talk about space. And when I say space, I don't mean astronauts. However, yay, astronauts. That was really cool yesterday to see them come back. When I'm talking about space here, I'm talking about where you're actually working. So the space that you create for yourself, believe it or not, is really important. I asked one of my best friends when the pandemic first started, and she's worked from home almost her entire career. And I said to her, what do you recommend? I don't have a home office. Like, this isn't something that I've set up. And she said, make a space for you. It doesn't have to be a whole room. It just has to be the space that you work. And being the space that you work means that you work there and not everywhere else in the house. It's so key because we can take our devices and we can go everywhere throughout the house and do our work, but then you feel like work is all over the house. So by creating that space in your home, then you actually feel like that's the place that you work and that's the place that you leave work. Now, I also am a firm believer in creating that space. So I love things like flowers. I have pictures of my family and friends in my space. I also have candles. Ask me what the best part of working from home is. Open flames. So key. So just whatever it is for you, create that space so you know that you're actually your best self for work that day when you're there. It's made such a difference for me, and I hope it does for you as well. Next, okay, I have talked a lot. So how about we take a little bit of a break, and I want everyone to go to this bit.ly, bit.ly/P to learn. Again, bit.ly/P to learn. It's one question in a Google form that I'm dying to see what you all have to say. I really think it's exciting to talk about what the difference in virtual professional development has been for you. So again, bit.ly P to learn. It's capital P. I don't know who put it on the screen there, but it is capital P, if you can change that. I'm going to go on ahead and share my screen. And we're going to go over and see what you're all saying. Awesome. Okay. So what is the best part about virtual professional development? Your options were flexible times, pajama bottoms, no commute, learn from anywhere. And I see learn from anywhere is definitely getting a fair amount of responses. I personally am in the pajama bottoms category. I haven't worn anything but yoga pants since March 12th, and I am not complaining about it. learning from anywhere, no commute for sure. I love it. So what I love about doing something like this, for me as a presenter, it is really, really hard to do a presentation with no audience. There's no laughing, there's no crying, there's no sleeping. I have no idea if you all are thinking this is the most amazing thing you've ever done in your life, or if everybody's left the room. So for me, getting interaction like this, it shows me there are people out there, and that is awesome. And I'm so glad that you're here. But for you, it also shares with you, we are all together. It's not just you and it's not just me. There are hundreds of people together with us right now doing the same thing. And building that community is so key when you're talking about virtual communities. It is so important to understand that there are people with you and that you are doing the same thing at the same time. And there's something unique about that live experience together. I'm loving that we're seeing no commute and learn from anywhere. It's like, it's almost... I'm really disappointed, though. I got to say, I really thought pajama bottoms were going to have a bigger number, but oh well. I'm going to let you all keep playing with this. We've already got 500 responses, which is fantastic. I just love this notion of sharing and having community together like this. It's so great for me. It's like watching a fish tank with all of the responses coming in, and just knowing that you're all here with me. It makes me feel really warm. So thank you for being here. Okay. So I'm going to stop sharing the screen now and go back here. Okay, perfect. All right, so now I want to talk a little bit about fun, right? So this should be fun. We should be having fun. We are totally in this together. Like, let's not ignore the fact we are in the middle of a pandemic, and this is challenging in so many ways, but it's also presenting really amazing opportunities like this one, right? This isn't something that we would normally ever do because we would always try and be in person and get together. And do we want to be in person, and do we want to see each other, and do we want to give one another hugs? Yes, so much. But things like this have come from the situation that we are in, and we are making the best of it. And I'm really proud of all of us for everything that we are doing, that you are doing for our students, for your communities. This makes such a difference. So I want to see all the dogs and the cats and the babies, and I want to see all of these things, because trust me when I say your students want to know your dog's name. They want to know what's going on in your life. And by bringing them into your world, really bring them into your world, because we are all sharing these moments and we are all in this together. So bring on the puppies, okay? Last thing I want you to think about. Think about the last time that you shared a TED Talk, because it was amazing, the message was great, and you had to share it with everybody that you knew because everyone needed to hear that message. Do you remember sharing that, but then saying, well, too bad it was virtual? No, you didn't, because the message was great, because the story was awesome, because what they said resonated with you and you wanted everyone else to hear it. So just know that while virtual isn't necessarily what you would pick, it can work. And the messages can be strong, and you can connect in new and interesting ways. So don't let this virtual world pull you away from doing something that you've always wanted to do or try. Put yourself out there, because I guarantee that you're going to connect with someone. So, in the words of my very favorite Peloton instructor, Cody Rigsby, fix your wig, find your light, and have a great couple days, everyone. Thanks so much. It was great to see you. Enjoy.